Hi, Vance Farino, exercise physiologist for the Cliffs and 3D golf performance conditioning specialist. Today we're going to talk about the thoracic spine and its role in the golf swing. Our article today touched on the finer points. If you haven't read that article and you're catching this on our YouTube channel, I encourage you to click the link for that article and it will tie some of what we're going to cover in today. When it comes to mobilizing the thoracic spine, we talk about how those segments have got to be able to extend and flex, how to be able to laterally bend, how to be able to rotate, and then how to be able to not only rotate, but lateral bend, such as we see in the golf swing. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to show you how we use a thoracic roller to create some extension and some gentle movements to start getting the rib cage in that thoracic spine to start actually moving a little bit better. Then we're going to tie that back into a couple of movement patterns to complement that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with placing this roller right below, just beneath the shoulder blades. So I'm going to set this here, and I'm going to set my shoulder blades back over this. Now, all rollers have a little bit different widths. Some of them are thicker, some a little bit thinner. There's even half rollers. Now, what's going to be important, you've got to be real cautious. As you're coming into this extended position, you're not trying to create any undue stress in your low back or something that's too uncomfortable. It's not the most pleasant thing in the world, but it shouldn't be to the point where it's actually causing pain. So I put my shoulder blades right over the roller. Now to get my shoulder blades kind of out of the way in this portion of my back, I'm going to take my hands and I'm just going to use my fingertips to capture my head. Now from this position, I am just going to lean back. Now from here, I have extension through my back, and again, nothing too uncomfortable. And at this, I can just very gently rock back and forth. I can maybe just try to drive a little bit of rotational pattern as well. So I'm just subtly, as I extend, just trying to get a little bit of movement in there. Now depending on how much mobility you have in your back, you can take this where I'm going to bring my head to the ground. Now for some cases, for people when I'm working with them, I will put a pillow or one of our yoga rugs to capture the head here. Because if I want to tie shoulder mobility into this, I can come in and now I have my arms here and I'm going to reach the arms overhead. And again, I can create this lateral bending by just reaching my hands. I can come up here and just gently try to rock and reach in that position, and I can open up for the chest as well. Once I've done that, I'm going to move the roller down just a little bit. Now I am just below the shoulder blades in the center of the thoracic spine. Again, that whole process is going to very similarly. Again, if I need to capture the weight of my head, I never want to be hanging on my neck. The hands are here, captures the weight of the head, and I'll come back. Now again, I've done this a lot so I can get to the ground on this. I'll just breathe through that position, and then again, I can just create a little bit of a gentle lateral bend, or even just a little bit of a gentle rotation. Like if I want to get the shoulders back in, one more time. Now, as the roller is in the center, not just in the upper part of the thoracic, I'm going to start bringing the lower body in. So from my position here, as I set my hands however I want to set them, I'm just going to take my legs and very gently roll them a little bit from left to right. So now I've got the legs pulling the pelvis, pulling the spine. So from the bottom up, it's now trying to rotate the thoracic spine. So I have basically this kind of motion going on while the roller is extending me. And I can just gently work back and forth. Now the last section, so I generally break everything into 3 zones. We're going to get right where the thoracic spine and the lumbar spine meet. And you have to be really careful. You don't want this big roller jammed up into your lumbar spine. It's not going to be comfortable. And even for somebody who are very tight in this lower thoracic, I'll usually start them in those upper zones before moving them to this zone. So feel this out and be careful. Now I'm in that lower thoracic, and again, it tends to be a little bit tighter for most. Again, I can run through my arm reaches, but this is where I'm going to just do a little bit more on where the knees rock. Now if you notice, I'm not rocking my knees as far as I did when it was higher. This could be a little bit tighter. And then slowly, as I get more comfortable, I would take it just a little bit further.
Always, always, always on anything that we do in these videos, err to caution. If you're unsure, don't do it. If you have any pain, don't do it. Give me a call. My contact information is in the text box below. Again, this is about enhancing thoracic mobility, but you also have to be careful that in doing this, that you're not going to hurt your lower back in the process.